All right, hello and welcome. This is a demo of the latest version of the StackSource Browser Extension, version 0.6, still patent pending. And this is a tool to help real estate investors and investment sales agents quickly size up acquisition opportunities with live financing quotes. We're going to begin in about 30 seconds to a minute. Just going to give time for those on the live stream to join. If you are watching this later, you can go ahead and skip forward a minute and we'll dive in. Until then, give us 1 minute. Okay, we're going to dive in and we're going to send this around as a replay on all social media, and we're going to get more viewers after the fact than we do live, especially because we didn't send any emails about it, which is my which was my job that I didn't do. But we're going to do a demo of the StackSource Browser Extension here. If you're on StackSource.com and you want to check out the extension, there's a bar on the top of the screen here, and I'll zoom in so you can see it, that says version 0.6 of the browser extension beta is out, free investment analysis tool. There's this learn more box. If you hit that, you're going to be brought to a page that explains the extension and gives you the opportunity to install it. Now, you must be using Google Chrome to install the extension. That is the only browser that works with this tool for the moment, but you install it. And if you press install now, you're going to be brought to the Google Chrome Web Store. I already have it on Chrome, so my option is to remove. In that same spot, there would be an option to add the extension to your browser. So today we're talking about updates. We have a previous video that talks about the functionality. I'll quickly go through it. This browser extension lets you bring up on any web page, particularly on commercial property listings, live financing assumptions, so you can run instant acquisition analysis and know what your investment returns would be. Then you can share those calculations with other people that want to view the deal, like co-investors, equity partners. You can share it with a lender. You can share it with StackSource to get thoughts on commercial financing. But today we're going to be talking about updates to the extension. And I'm going to go through listings on 2 different top 10 commercial listing platforms. One of them is LoopNet. The other one's called Brevitas. And if you're not familiar with them, LoopNet is really the Zillow of commercial real estate. They have the most listings and the most agents using it and posting listings. As Zillow is targeted towards residential, LoopNet, Brevitas, and other commercial lending portals represent commercial buildings, industrial, multifamily, office, etc. And our browser extension is laser focused on helping in the commercial acquisition and financing process. So previous version of the browser extension did not work with LoopNet. And the reason for that is that LoopNet's running code on their page that blocks any browser extension from accessing information on the page, loading and changing the functionality of the page. So what we've done, and I have an industrial building in Florida loaded up here. Its asking price is $12.5 million. What we've done as you access the StackSource browser extension, the way you do that is you click the newly added StackSource logo in your browser. If you've added this through the Chrome Web Store, it opens in a new window on top of the LoopNet listing. So if I click on this LoopNet listing again, you can't see the StackSource browser extension. I would need to go back to this other window, and they're 2 separate windows. You can move it. But this is a workaround that gets around the code running on LoopNet's page that blocks the extension from running. So now the StackSource browser extension and investment calculator loads in a new window. You'll notice that we did not pull in the property's purchase price, its net operating income, like we do on other listing portals. And that's just to avoid running afoul of CoStar and LoopNet, who do not like technically or legally for anyone to interact with their pages or their information. So what you're going to have to do here is find the net operating income on the page and type it in. And in this case, the net operating income is $660,000. That's how much income this building is driving right now, net income. And the purchase price that they have listed is $12.5 million. So this property is for sale for a 5.28% cap. You can change that purchase cap. I'm going to say, what if we could buy this property for a 5.5 cap? That would bring the purchase price down to 12. And you can try different cap rates. In this case, there's a high NOI already, and I'm not going to put any CapEx into the building. I'm going to leave pro forma NOI alone and just trust the current NOI and say, if I just bought this property and I didn't add any income, what might my returns be? And now I can choose a commercial loan category. I'll say, what if we finance this purchase with a regional bank loan? I have minimum and maximum interest rates that I can choose. So I'll choose a loan in the 3s, and I'll try to go for as much leverage as possible, assuming a 25-year amortization. And I can calculate the max loan proceeds and my net cash flow and cash on cash return on the building instantly. Now that's using assumptions for what the interest rate is going to be and the leverage. If I need to validate those assumptions and I want to talk to a real human, even though this did the right calculation based on the numbers, I can press the chat with expert button, and that'll get me into a conversation with a StackSource capital advisor. We usually answer in a few minutes, or you can give us a call about commercial financing for a building in particular. So this is LoopNet. This will work with any property on LoopNet that's for sale. You will simply need to type in the property's income and the purchase price that you would be planning to offer. As I flip over to a second property listing platform that we now support, if you have a live property that you would like for us to analyze on one of these live streams, go ahead and leave it in the comments. You can also email hello@stacksource.com if you'd like to get help analyzing any potential investment. So go ahead and drop in the comments on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook if you have a property that you would like us to analyze live. But now I'm going to flip over to a second listing portal. This listing portal is called Brevitas. It's another top 10 commercial property listing portal. This is a multifamily property that is based also in Florida, on sale for $8 million, $489,000 in NOI. Now our browser extension previously worked for Brevitas, but same as LoopNet, it would not scrape in information off the page. With the latest version, if I load the StackSource browser extension on any Brevitas listing, we now do scrape information from their page. And then you can combine that, because this is a multifamily listing. I could do the same, and I could assume an interest rate and get minimum, maximum interest rates for different lender categories. But on the multifamily side, I can choose one of the live quote options, choose assumptions about my loan, like wanting to have 2 years of interest only payments for interest, for instance. Let's say what my 10-year fixed rate would be. And we've already scraped in the property address from and the zip code from the page. And as I calculate, rather than just doing calculations, it's now calling StackSource's server to get a live Freddie Mac SBL quote for this property based on the location, size, loan dynamics, and other characteristics. And on this deal, we can get up to the full 80% leverage, 1.29% debt service coverage, and that all these metrics determine my actual live rate with Freddie Mac SBL, which would be 4.27% based on the dynamics of this deal. That would be good for this $378,000 of loan payments in a year, meaning that if I bought the property at that price with that loan, I'd be cash flowing about $110,000 a year, good for a cash on cash return over this cash you need to bring to the deal of 6.3%. I can go back and I can change some of the assumptions of the deal, and the interest rate would update itself instantly. Let's say I like this deal. I like this property. I like the market. I do some analysis and I say that this NOI is reasonable. I can share these results. and get a link that I can then share with any co-investor, lender, anybody that wants to see the metrics of the deal I've run. You can give them the link generated by the extension, and they do not need to have the extension themselves. They'd see the results of the analysis on a simple web page, nothing to install. They are invited to install the StackSource Browser Extension on their own, so that they can run their own analysis. But they'd see the max loan proceeds and the return metrics that were generated. And they'd also get a link to the property URL so they can go back to the listing and see the property and more information about it that you ran those calculations for. So that is the share feature. We've streamlined this a bit. We fixed up this page based on some feedback, and the share feature is fully functional. You can take that URL for the shared analysis. You can share it with somebody over email. You can share it with someone over social media, and they just need to load it up in a browser. They do not need to have the extension installed. So there you have it. We now work with more listing portals. We're going to continue adding probably a couple each month, listing portals that we can scrape live information off the page. But the StackSource Browser Extension now loads on 50 different commercial listing platforms. A couple of them, it will take information off the page, so you have to do less data entry, but it's going to come up and it's going to work if you key in the right information on 50 different commercial property listing portals at this point. If you're an investor screening a lot of acquisition opportunities, or if you're an investment sales agent trying to find an acquisition opportunity that fits the criteria for your client, you're still going to need to do underwriting and analysis. You're still going to need to do due diligence. But this is now the fastest and most effective way in the industry to quickly screen acquisition opportunities with live financing quotes to see, based on assumptions, is this going to be a viable deal? If not, move on. If yes, do more analysis, share it, share the interest in the deal via the sharing function. You'll see that at no point did I have to log into the StackSource Browser Extension. This is free to use. We don't know who you are as users, and we're not taking your information about potential acquisitions because you're never logging in. You're simply using this. You're using this for free and anonymously. The only time we'd ever receive your information is then if you ask to see, once you share results, if you decide to use StackSource to see additional financing options and to get live term sheets from lenders, we'd ask you to sign up and log in and tell us about the deal. Otherwise, this is a free and anonymous tool. And I'm going to pause there and I'm going to see if we have any comments coming through in our live stream. So if you have any questions about the functionality, questions about analysis, once again, hello@stacksource.com is a good email address. And if you're using the StackSource Browser Extension, you can always hit chat with expert. Assuming no questions that are going to be useful for the full audience, we'll cut it off here. Thank you, everyone, for checking out the demo. If you want more information about the StackSource Browser Extension or to give it a shot, stacksource.com, and I'll show one more time. StackSource.com's homepage, and there's a bar right at the top about our version 0.6 browser extension, patent pending. You can also find it in the bottom of the page under platform browser extension, and you can install it for any version of Google Chrome. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you have questions, again, hello@stacksource.com is going to get you in touch with our team, and we're happy to do a live demo for anybody, including investment sales teams, acquisition teams, if you have any questions and want to go over this in more detail. Thanks, everyone.